Turns out it wasn't the mild virus that is going to take down Clown World. Turns out it's the reaction to the mild virus that has wrecked everything. British Airways, on top of massive job losses, and they're one of the oldest airlines in the world, they've just retired the world's biggest fleet of Boeing 747s, known as the jumbo jets, most famous aircraft in history. Now, to ground 31 of your biggest airliners is something. Now, Boeing, the aircraft manufacturer, are they in administration yet? Have they gone bust? They're losing $1 billion a month. If you thought air travel was struggling before the virus, now no one's flying. Of course, no one, I mean a lot less people are flying. Orders for Boeings have gone down. Not only that, Boeing fucked up hard. They killed 400 people by negligence when to try and compete with the Airbus, I think it was the A350E, the economical aircraft. Correct me in the comments section, I'm wrong. This is all coming out the top of my head. Boeing released an aircraft called the Boeing 737 Supermax, which sounds like an American jail where El Chapo is. Boeing 737 Supermax had some very serious fly-by-wire software issues, and it killed about 150 people in an Indonesian airliner crash. And then it killed another 200 people in Ethiopia. Ethiopia Airlines being the best regarded airline in Africa, considered on par, as good as European airlines. Good on the Ethiopians. Good on them. It's a good country. Also the only country that was never colonized by the Europeans. So Ethiopians should be very proud. Now, I'm watching aghast as people write to me, old friends, old acquaintances, old work colleagues, bumping into them in the street. They're like, what are you up to? And I explain. I'm very happy, very proud. They're joining the CHARLIEV.com network. Some very cool people are coming on board. And they're saying, have you got any job opportunities? Have you got this? Have you got that? And it's hard. All I can say is, look, you're handsome guys. Just fucking whore yourself out there. Get on the media. Try and generate some advertising revenue. Try and do whatever you need to do, but use my platform. It's no problem. So things are getting extremely strange out there. I just saw a African gentleman being bullied by two environmental officers, big guys. There's one guy I've had run-ins with in the past. I think he enjoys the job a little too much. He's about 6'3", very wide tank of a man, big guy. And he was leaning right into this little African guy, like saying, you have to pay the fine, you got to give your details, we're going to call the police. There's crackheads lay slumped all over city centre Manchester. I'm walking around today looking over my shoulder because there are people who want to do me harm. And I bumped into Kieran again, which was cool. And we exchanged a few ideas, but I've got to do a few things this weekend, so can't do too much filming with my new buddy. Now, I want to just pause this for a second for this reason. Pause. I'm going to link it in the description box, and I'm actually going to remember to do it. A British doctor released a paper recently titled, I think, "No One's Allowed to Recover from COVID-19 in England." And the Public Health England, PHE, it's like our public health body. They are, and it's scandalous, they are literally counting, and you all knew this from the start. I was ambivalent, but it's all come out, it just took time. I didn't want to join into any camp until I could, really say it is the case. But they've been counting every single death, anyone that ever tested positive for COVID-19, even if 3 months later they got hit by a bus or they got stabbed to death by a crackhead. They're being counted as a coronavirus death for the stats to scare Joe Public, to get all the little Dorises and all the little men and women, oh my God, I'm going to die. It's not cool, man. It's breaking the Kantian categorical imperative, treating people as cattle to be harvested, their energy, which is fear. It's kind of like Monsters, Inc. Make the kids scream, fill up the canister with the fear, electricity. And the lovely message at the end of that film is love and laughter creates a lot more energy. Ha ha ha, very nice. And it's true. But Public Health England, it's the only country, and especially the only first world country, the only civilized alleged non-shithole country, although there is a lot of shit here, that doesn't list recovered people on the website. Now what the fuck, man? People do recover from COVID-19, so we see. We don't know what the very long-term health implications are, but it's not looking as bad as we once thought 4 months ago. So you can get coronavirus, COVID-19, this new novel nCoV SARS-2, and you can commit suicide 2 months later, and you'll be listed as a coronavirus death. Now, we all know, what was his name? Carol Quigley wrote those books exposing the permanent state, the deep state. But, the government and British politicians have said the same. They don't ever let a crisis go to waste. September the 11th was obviously for the Patriot Act to sort out the pipeline wars in Iraq, to get American bases all over the region, to make sure the Russians didn't have the influence, to make sure Iran didn't have the influence. Now, the July 7th bombing attacks in London in 2005, again, that was used to really ramp up the Big Brother surveillance state. And so far, apart from corporate censorship on outdated blokes social media platforms, it hasn't been too overused. But it's as if with the nCoV-2, SARS-CoV-2, they wanted to run a drill. And again, it's using the population as guinea pigs, test subjects, not being honest. Now, there's two things I think they were doing. They were obviously tightening the screws for more power and influence. And Britain is a very difficult country to control population-wise. Some people say we should have guns and that would make us more free. I don't know, man. Like, as much as I love American freedom, if you look just at one statistic of the accidental deaths of toddlers from their parents' guns that should be locked away in gun cabinets, it's enough to make you cry. Now, of course, you can counter that and say, look, in Britain, there's a lot of stabbing, and there is a lot of stabbing. But, you can't stab someone from across a parking lot. You can certainly shoot someone. But anyway, look, let's not get into this. Britain is running a drill. I think part of it is politicians, to get to the upper echelons, really have to suck a lot of Satan's cock. I think they have to demoralize themselves and really take it up the ass, metaphorically, to get to the top of what they're looking for. And they resent us. They resent the public. They sometimes let slip politicians. Like, if this was a fucking dictatorship, it'd be a lot easier. And that is tightening the screws, controlling people's civil liberties. Police stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like, do we fuck over the public who we've built 1,000 years of trust, 200 years of trust, or do we become the enforcers of these deranged politicians? The second thing I think they're doing is I think we're doing disaster preparation for the Cold War we're having with the Chinese Communist Party. These fuckers, man, in Beijing. Have you seen the leaked drone footage? Have you seen the fucking clumps of hair and teeth and shoes? This is like Auschwitz on the same scale, happening today in 2020. Uyghur Muslims, they are genetically a bit different than your Han Chinese. They're more Eurasian. They look more Tajikistani, Kazakhstani, Central Eurasia. That sort of look. And there are literally 2 million of them. 2 fucking million. That's almost half the population of Scotland in concentration camps being re-educated. Now, just talking about it does something, I guess. I've been outside the Chinese consulate. I've gone there and had a word with them. I don't believe individuals like myself, the small fry, are going to be targets of the Chinese state when they actually have CIA agents running around Taiwan, Hong Kong. Taiwan's just run massive drills to stop a Chinese invasion. Of course, when China goes a bit too crazy, as all fascist states tend to do, they call themselves communist, but they're more Stalinist, more power state, capitalist power state with slaves. when they will try to, and I think they will try and retake Taiwan, it's not going to be allowed. NATO is going to not allow it. And no one's going to use nukes. Nukes are potentially a meme. I do believe NATO, especially America, DARPA, the black projects coming out of Area 51 as well, they have the technology to neutralize nuclear weapons on takeoff. I mean, because come on, nukes, man, this is 1950s technology. I think nukes are a meme. This is why no one really worries about Russia anymore. Yeah, there was a big kickoff about Crimea, but the Crimea was semi-autonomous. They'd all voted. They were like 60% ethnically Russian. But it is obviously Ukraine. Russia did a naughty thing, but Russia knew no one was going to nuke them. And China knows no one's going to nuke 100 million Chinese just for the acts of a few fuckers in the Chinese Communist Party. So where am I going with all this? The biological drills we've been under. I think there is a worry that nukes being a meme, and they're easy to stop, biological weapons releases are not easy to stop. And when the shit really hits the fan, if the Chinese Communist Party bureaucrats, if the apparatchiks of the CCP believe that their days are numbered and they're going to be hung from a lamppost, or they're going to receive the Muammar Gaddafi treatment, bayonet up the arsehole, a 9mm bullet to the back of the head. When fascists go crazy, they do bad things, and we just need to be on our guard for that. So again, I just wanted to talk. I can't edit my video to the same degree as, say, a Hollywood studio, but I can do a few clips. This isn't one of the musical ones. This is more the talking one. But thank you very much for listening. This is Talk Radio. This is CHARLIEV coming to you from central Manchester. Thanks very much.